When anybody ever asks me, what is your favorite holiday? It's a no-brainer. The answer is always Halloween. As you see, I have my little dark angel wings on. And I love Halloween because there's no pressure. There's no gift exchange. We don't have to go to somebody's house for dinner that we don't particularly want to. We can just have fun, be sexy, be whimsical, just like cooking in the kitchen together. No rules, have fun, role play, do whatever you want, just spark those flames and get that relationship going again. So as you may know, I'm a sexy chef, and my whole mission and passion in life is to spark, rekindle, add some spice to relationships simply through the act of cooking. And as promised, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful fruit platter. You can see I have some really fun ingredients out here, colorful, sexy, fun. So you can make this fruit platter for your loved one, or you can make it together. It's always fun and exciting to come home and have somebody prepare something for you, and when you walk in, here it is, voila. So make sure you hit my subscribe button. If you like my videos, please hit like, make comments, and if there's anything, any suggestions or anything you want me to prepare or talk about, please let me know. So let's get at it. Let's make this sexy fruit platter together. So I have set the mood. I've lit a candle and, of course, dressed sexy. So I want you to come into this whole process thinking of, we're making this platter together. It's sort of like our fun foreplay. Who knows what's gonna happen? There are no rules. So, dress up sexy. We're close to Halloween, so if you wanna wear your costume, your sexy costume, and just be fun and whimsical, by all means do that, because this is your time. You're gonna taste, touch, feel, and smell together. I have some fruits in here that maybe you've never heard of, so you can taste it together, try it with each other, be sexy, have fun. This is your time. Light a candle, play some great music, and hey, let's get at this. Okay, so for this sexy fruit platter, you'll need pomegranate seeds, golden berries, Asian pear, blackberries, cabbage leaves for decor, almonds, grapes, pumpkin seeds, and these sexy little kiwi berries. You'll see why they're called kiwi berries when I cut them open. Pineapple, we're going to use that part of the pineapple to start our platters for decoration. Limes, pink grapefruit, strawberry, watermelon, some knives, skewers, and some fun little flowers that I picked up at the market. All of this I got at Trader Joe's. Okay, now that we have gone over our fruits, let's just go over some of the utensils. So right here I have a serrated knife, which is nice for this tough-skinned watermelon and pineapple, just to get right into it. And then I have a straight knife, which is great for watermelon and the pineapple if you want to just clean smoothly the edges. It gives it a nice finish. And then I have a paring knife. So the paring knife is great for strawberries and small fruits, those little kiwi berries I was talking about, and the Asian pear, really nice to have. And I highly recommend everybody has a pair of kitchen scissors. These are not scissors that you're gonna do wrapping paper with or art projects for the kids. These are simply for the kitchen. You can trim fat off of meats, you can cut herbs with them. They just come in handy for anything with cooking. Mine have had a long time. They're Cutco's. Everyone that knows me, don't touch my kitchen scissors. Very important. And then I have this great chef tweezers. So this is nice if you just have like little things you want to pick up and you want to just daintily place them or plate them. Like these little flowers that I have. If I don't want to mess up my little arrangement, I can just stick them in there easily and gently with my tweezers. These are tweezers for the kitchen too. Just remember that, okay? Nothing else but the kitchen. And then I love these little Asian skewers. They have a knot at the end. You can stick a flower in them. You can put a stack of pretty fruits on them. They're easy to eat or peel off. Looks really sexy. And then you can also like stack fruit on them and just stick them in so they're just sitting upright or to the side. It looks really great on platters. So those are the utensils that we're going to use, and I can't wait. Let's get at this. Let's have fun. So don't get hung up on the details. If you're wondering what kind of platter should I use, whatever platter you want to, because remember, it's your kitchen, your rules. You're here to be spicy, fun, have a good time. You could even use this right here, this crystal stand that I have my pumpkin on. It's actually for pastries or cake. You could use wood cutting boards, this round green like charger plate, or today we're just going to use this square white plate. It has a little bit of an elevation on it, not much, but it's just kind of easy to show you. Doesn't matter, no rules. This is your time. This is your time to have fun and be a little bit whimsical and creative. So as delicious and delectable and sweet a pineapple can be, it can be very prickly and very painful. So what I suggest you do is when you buy the pineapple, immediately wash it so it's nice and clean, and then right away get those scissors out, because this is going to be the centerpiece of your fruit platter. You don't want any injuries. You don't want to take this sexy night and have somebody feel like in pain because they prick their finger on these very, very sharp leaves on a pineapple. So you're going to take these scissors and you're going to chop all of the little tips off. And trust me when I tell you, they are sharp. So some people wear gloves. I'm very used to doing it. I'm very well aware that they are sharp. So I just kind of delicately go through each leaf. And it's kind of fun to do this together. If you have a couple pair of scissors, you can just go, oh, let's just chop that one off. And any dead leaves, just get them off the bottom. Make sure you cut them all off at the bottom, just like a blunt edge. Get all of those sharp pieces off. Again, you don't want any sharp piece left because it does hurt. And it's the centerpiece of your beautiful platter. You want it soft and sexy. You want to have fun with it, because ultimately you're going to cut this, and you don't want to do this process after you've cut it because you'll cut yourself doing that with just a little point. So you want to make sure you get all the points off first, and then we're going to chop off the top 2 inches and make it our centerpiece. I know a lot of people just chop it off and throw it away, but we're not. We're using this as an artful piece. So after you get all of those little points off, you can go in and you can create little like geometrical shapes. You can be like a little bit Art Deco and, you know, cut it so it has like a different shape to it, and it'll end up looking much like this. So even though it's still pointy, all of those little tiny sharp points are off, and we're ready to go. We're ready to get this sexy platter on the road. So besides pineapple being so unbelievably healthy and so good for you, we're going to use the top of the pineapple as our centerpiece. So when I cut the pineapple, I'll show you. We cut down about 2 inches, we cut the top of it off, and then trim up the leaves because they're really super sharp. You don't want to hurt yourself. You could even wear gloves, or maybe be like damsel in distress and say to your guy, could you please cut it? I don't want to poke my fingers. Or you can just take charge. Either way, it's sexy. So you're going to use this as the centerpiece of your fruit platter, and it adds drama, dimension. I put flowers inside of it, and it's just a really easy way to get started. You can say, hey, why don't you put some berries over here, or we'll throw some nuts over here, and just start creating together. Get it spicy. So let's cut this gorgeous pineapple. I have my serrated knife. We're just gonna cut the top about, as I said, it's about 2 inches. Okay, we'll set that aside. And then off of the bottom, cut about 1 inch off the bottom. And of course, we'll throw that part away. And then you have this left. So you're gonna go with this straight knife, and you're gonna smoothly cut all of the edges, just like that. Go all the way around, and then we'll cut. So then we go around the pineapple and we cut all of those brown edges. And you know what, even the body, the flesh part of the pineapple, those outside pieces can be kind of sharp. So just kind of keep your hands off of them. A lot of people just don't buy pineapples because they don't like to do this. It's really not that hard. You just kind of get into it. And it just depends on the pineapple, the size of the pineapple, how much fruit you're gonna have left after you cut it. But this is gonna go into the trash. And then, you know, once I went all the way around it, I'm gonna take this straight knife and kind of get those little brown pieces off. See how there's little brown chunks on the side, and just sort of take them off. There's not too many, but we'll just kind of get those off. Not a big deal. So after you cut off all those brown edges, be careful too that you don't hurt yourself on the outer part. It can be a little sharp, you want to get rid of those. And then you cut all the flesh off around the center, because the center is hard, it's not sexy, you don't want to eat that, you want to get rid of that. And if you have one of those great kitchen utensils, which I've never used, I've seen them advertised, but you just core out the middle of the pineapple. That's kind of fun because it's quick and easy, but otherwise just be old-fashioned like me and cut the flesh around that centerpiece, and then you just end up with long strips, and then you just cut those strips into little squares. So you cut long pieces and then little squares that you're gonna put on that platter, and these are so sweet and delicious, and they're small enough that you could feed someone, and okay, good. Now that we have all this fun, delicious pineapple, this is when it gets super fun and sexy. So you can grab these tweezers if you want and just be kind of playful, feed each other, or place them slowly if you want around the platter. And it will be slow if you use these because it's going to take a while. Or you can just grab them and place them around this center piece. So I actually put it a little bit off to the side just to make it a little more interesting, because nothing has to be perfect, right? So we're just going to toss all of this beautiful, delicious pineapple all around on one side of our tower here, our pineapple tower. So another thing I did is I took those fun little flowers that I showed you, and I just like them because I honestly don't even know what they're called, but I got them at Trader Joe's. They actually look like little mini pineapples to me, kind of purple pineapples. So I stick them in the pineapple, and when I do that, it just adds kind of more color and dimension. And those soft, pretty, willowy flowers, I put them in there as well. And you know, I just like literally stick them in between the leaves. It kind of looks like it's growing out of it. Subtle, it's not too much because the color, the purple kind of blends in with those green leaves, but you can already see we're getting this going. It's starting to look really alive and fresh and very sexy. So let's kick this up a notch and add like another texture and layer and color to make this even sexier. So I take buy these little small purple cabbage, and you literally have to just peel the leaf off of the cabbage. So you can save that cabbage because you can use it for a spicy, sexy slaw. But I set the cabbage on a corner or somewhere, anywhere actually that you want to. But it's really kind of fun, and honestly not always the first one I peel off is gonna work because sometimes they break, but as you can watch me do this, I just peeled that one off. It turned out really good. And see, look at the color. It's just so vibrant and so beautiful. And so I just stick it on the platter. And what I'm gonna do is I'm probably just gonna put like, I think I'm gonna put the almonds and the pomegranates. I've done that before in there because it just kind of adds to that rich color. So we're gonna add these, it's about a handful of almonds. Okay, we're just gonna stick those inside that leaf, and it just kind of displays it, and it also keeps the fruit juices from going on to the almonds. So you just don't want them soaked with fruit juice. And then The nice thing about the pomegranate seeds is they're not like too juicy, so you can kind of add them in with the pomegranates, and it's kind of a fun little texture because add them with the almonds. So you've got almonds and pomegranates, and it just adds like a really interesting dimension of flavor because the pomegranate seeds, when you bite into them, they pop, like kind of explode. And then of course the almonds are sort of crunchy and more bold. So you kind of have this bold flavor with a sweet little pop. It's very sexy, it's gorgeous. It is really interesting. And you don't even have to use one of those leaves. You can use another one if you want. It's very artful, creative. And again, if you're putting nuts on your platter or something you don't want to get soaked by the fruit juices, it's a perfect way to protect them. We're moving right along here, aren't we? So why don't we dive into those kiwi berries that I mentioned. Now these are absolutely spectacular. They literally taste like candy to me. They're almost indescribable. They're like, when you first bite into them, they feel kind of creamy and rich, and then there's this little slight refreshing sweetness, and they're just addicting. They're amazing. So they're called kiwi berries, okay? I got them at Trader Joe's. They're like little round, almost the size of like a kumquat actually. So you cut these in half. Just look at this. You're not even gonna believe it. It literally looks like a little kiwi. And they are so good. They really are. They are beyond good. I'm obsessed with them. And I think it's really fun to like cut some of them, and I'm using this little paring knife that I mentioned to you. Just cut some of them in half. So we're gonna add a dimension here as well. So I don't necessarily have to cut these. I just cut them open just because they're so beautiful inside. They look like little tiny kiwis. And when I do a video close up after we're done, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I just cut like 3 of them just to add sort of like a little dimension here. So we've got the yellow pineapple, we have the red and brown, we have the almonds and the pomegranate seeds inside that purple cabbage, and then this, of course, dramatic pineapple with these little, very subtle flowers inside of them. And then I'm just gonna take like a handful of these, and I'm just gonna put them like in between the cabbage and the little pieces that I cut. So what's really fun on a fruit platter, I think, is just to fill it up. Like, it makes it dramatic, even if it's a small one, just like pile it up and, you know, have like every part of it filled up, because then it just becomes like this beautiful piece of art. And you know what, you guys are gonna have so much fun doing this together. So if you can find these kiwi berries, try them. They're addictive, they're very healthy. They're not like super sweet candy, but they're just delicious. Okay, so just like any great masterpiece and piece of art, we love to have texture and color and a lot of different dimensions going on. So again, we have height, and we have all this beautiful color and a lot of interesting things going on our fruit platter. So let's just do something really simple and add some grapes. So there's like this long piece sticking out that I'm not super crazy about. So I'm just gonna cut the top and make it look a little bit cleaner. And I'm just gonna plop some grapes right over here. I'm not gonna stick them next to the purple cabbage because they're purple grapes and I don't wanna be redundant with my color. But I just have to just put the grapes on one part of the platter. And that's the other thing. No rules, remember? There are no rules. We're just gonna be fun here. So I'm just gonna maybe put another on the other side of the pineapple. Yeah, so we've got that going on. And I think I'm gonna do one more little pile right here. And the grapes, you know, you just want to make sure that you don't have like the stick sticking out so it looks pretty. But I think I'm just gonna put something on the edge here like that, so it's sort of hanging over, and then we'll build around that. So we're just adding like texture and dimension here. So let's add another something here that's gonna make it look a little more interesting. So I remember I showed you those pumpkin seeds, and I'm gonna actually put them in this little round, colorful bowl. It's a measuring cup. Somebody gave them to me. I love them. They look kind of Moroccan. But I'm gonna put those pumpkin seeds, and I'm actually just gonna plop it in the platter right in between those two grapes. And then I'm gonna take one of those fun purple flowers and I'm gonna stick it on the edge. So it's also giving it more dimension. It's not just, you know, flat and boring, because we are not boring. We are sexy and spicy, and this platter is really very exciting. So now let's get into those delicious, mouth-watering, bursting blackberries. And when you bite into a blackberry, that is what happens. It just literally bursts, has a party in your mouth. It's so fun. We're gonna make 3 skewers. So there's one for you and one for me. And the third one, I don't know, let's share it. So that's what this is all about. I'm gonna grab my tweezers just because blackberries have like, they're very juicy, and it's not a big deal, but they can stain your hands. I just like to do this so I keep my hands clean. Again, you don't have to use tweezers. You can just use your beautiful hands. But there, we just made a little blackberry skewer, and I'm just gonna wedge it right in here, kind of on top of our pineapple. That's sexy. So again, if you don't want to use the tweezers, you can simply put the skewer down the middle. You have to be careful. You want to make sure you get it down the middle of that blackberry so it stays on the skewer. So I'll show you though what it does to my hands. Not a big deal, because if you were with me, you would help me, right? So you get them all kind of purple. It's a really beautiful color, actually. So I'm gonna stick the other one right next to that. So now we've got like another little layer thing happening here. And then our third one, again, fingers, or, well, that one just fell right apart. So I'm actually gonna use my hands on this one. So we're gonna take 3 berries. And actually this is really fun, because this is a moment that I would say, if I was with someone, I'd say, here, can you lick this off my hands, please? Okay. So we're gonna have 3. Hello, puppy. The puppies are crying. We're gonna have 3. So now we have like another like cool dimension going on here. And then we're gonna move on over to these really delicious golden berries. And not a lot of people, whenever I put these on a platter, they're like, what are those? I mean, they're kind of, they look like little golden berries, and they're a little bit waxy, but when you bite into them, they're kind of like a sour punch, the sour punch candies. They're sort of sweet and sour, and they're just really cool looking. So I'm gonna put those right over here. So now we've got our green, orange, purple, yellow. We've got all kinds of colors going on. I mean, it keeps getting sexier by the minute. Let's just keep moving on and get this platter going. Strawberries, so delicious. Every platter that we make will have strawberries, because they symbolize love and fertility and abundance. So this platter that we're creating together is going to bring abundance and love and, you know, fertility if you're thinking about that. But if you're not, we're still gonna bring in so much love and abundance, and we're using the strawberries to symbolize that. And of course, we have my chocolate strawberry balsamic that we can drizzle over it to give it that extra aphrodisiac effect. So we're gonna take this strawberry and the paring knife, and we're just gonna cut little slices of strawberries, because strawberries are so pretty inside. And we're just gonna slice all these strawberries. And the strawberries that I'm using are organic, so they're not really massive strawberries, but they're so colorful and beautiful. I'm gonna stick them right here by our little kiwi berries. So we've got green and red, which as we know, looks amazing together. Every holiday, that is like a great color. So we're just gonna slice with the paring knife, we slice the top of the strawberry off, and then these little tiny strawberries, I'm just slicing them in threes, and I'm just piling them up over here in this corner. So far I've done about 3. We're gonna do a couple more because these are really little. And of course, they're just literally from a garden, so they're not, you know, they're organic and fresh, so they're not really big, but they're really delicious and sweet. So we're just gonna keep slicing those up. And it really just like fills that platter up, that little section right there, adding more sexy colors. And then, you know, listen, if you don't want to scare somebody, if they're not like, you know, wanting to have children, you can cut the fertility part out and just say, hey, these strawberries, they symbolize love and abundance. And then when we dip them in chocolate, it just adds a sexy little aphrodisiac effect. And hey, this platter, it gets sexier by the minute. So let's talk about Asian pears. They look like the size of an apple. They look like kind of a yellow apple, and they taste literally like a crispy apple with a little slight hint of a pear taste, but it's not mushy like a pear could get. It's crisp like an apple. And we're only going to use literally 1/4 of this section of this Asian pear, and then you could store it and eat the rest later, but you're going to cut that 1/4 off like that, okay? We'll set this aside. And then we're taking the paring knife, and we're just gonna do really thin, super thin slices, like all through the entire 1/4, really, really thin. They have like a kind of a strong skin on them, so they taste better if you eat them in like really thin slices because the skin is a little bit tough. And honestly, they are really delicious in salads as well. So I just did a really thin slice of the Asian pear. So it ends up looking like that. Okay, sort of like fanned out like that. Okay, so I'm gonna put that right over here, kind of in a little pile, fanned out. I'm gonna stick that right there next to the grapes. So now look at this. This is getting hotter by the minute. I'm in love. So we've got grapes, strawberries, we have our blueberries, the Asian pear, we've got blackberries, golden berries, pineapple, kiwi berries, almonds with those yummy, crunchy pomegranate seeds, and then we have pumpkin seeds because we are so close to Halloween. So the Asian pears are really like, they're not too sweet, they're really crunchy and crisp, and they just have a really refreshing, sexy flavor to them. So we're just moving right along here. Wow, we've come so far. This platter is just becoming more and more spectacular. Just a few more fruits. We've got our watermelon, which is the king of fruits, and its rind is known to have a Viagra effect. So that is a very fun subject, and absolutely a delicious, hydrating, amazing fruit. And then we have our 2 citrus that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. We have pink grapefruit, which is really delicious. I mean, I love grapefruit, but pink grapefruit, just so magnificent. It's got a little bit of a sweet flavor, and it's just beautiful and delicious. And then limes, which limes virtually taste delicious on everything. You could squeeze this on any one of these fruits, and it'll just like give it a zing and a really sexy kind of flavor to it. So it's also great just to have as part of, you know, the decor. And if you don't want to squeeze it on any of the fruit, you can keep it, and when you guys are sitting down, you can stick it in a glass of ice water. So basically we're going to take the lime and we're going to slice it in half. And look at this. I mean, nature at its best, just beautiful. So that color is so spectacular. And I'm just gonna plop that, just that wedge right there between the strawberries and the golden berries. And then I'm gonna stick another one right next to it. So it's got that kind of dramatic, very beautiful look. And then we're gonna take another one, I already halved it, and we're gonna make little wedges. So these little wedges are much easier, you know, to squeeze just straight on the fruit. And I'm gonna put those little wedges right here. I cut up a few more earlier, so I've got like 6 wedges. And I'm gonna stick them like in a pile right over here, right next to our Asian pear. And again, look at that. It gets sexier by the minute. We're almost done. All we have left is our watermelon, and I left that for the last because our watermelon is the king of fruits. I can't believe it, we've come this far. Now we just have our watermelon, and I love these little watermelons because they're just so easy to cut, and they're actually seedless, and they're delicious. And you know, we're not gonna use this whole watermelon because it's too much. So you're gonna just cut it in half, and we're gonna use the other half of the store it because we can definitely use it throughout the week, for sure. Because remember what I told you? The rind is considered a natural Viagra, so you might want to keep that in store. So I just cut, look at that. I mean, just that, so pretty. You've seen me, I've done other videos where I just take the watermelon this size and I cut them in about 1/2 inch, and I make them like a little pie, and then I put different fruits and squeeze lime over it and arugula, and it makes a great little salad. So we're just gonna cut this again this way. We're gonna cut the bottom off, and we're gonna save that because you know what? That's a great little snack right there. And we're just gonna make this really simple, okay? So now we have a wedge, or a circle. We're gonna make wedges. We're gonna cut it in half, and then I'm gonna slice it again down the middle. So now it's like 1/4 inch. And I'm just gonna cut little, cute, easy wedges. So look at that. That was simple, right? Do we have room? Yes, we do. We're gonna put them right here. I'm gonna just sort of pile them randomly on top of each other because we don't really need much anymore because we're just gonna make it very delicate. I'm gonna make them even smaller, and I'm just gonna pile them over here. It just looks so pretty. I can't wait to show you the close-up of this. I'm so excited for you to make this platter, you know, with somebody that you really love, and someone that really appreciates you, and someone that you have fun with. So it's really easy. You just cut these down, like I said, into one big wedge, and you just can make them as small as you want because that's really easy. So easy to eat. Wow, I just love watermelon. I absolutely love it. So I just created that little pile there. Again, we just are so like close to being done with this, and I'm really not wanting it to end because it's super fun. But now I've got a little bit more here to go. I'm gonna take these 2 pieces and I'm gonna stick them over here on the edge, just piled on top of each other. So I have this left over. Obviously, you're gonna keep all that extra fruit because you can use it for the week to come. You can even put slices of watermelon in your water with those limes. That is delicious. I got so excited about the watermelon that I forgot about our beautiful pink grapefruit. And we need her, we just have a couple little edges that we can put the pink grapefruit in. We're not gonna use the whole thing either, but again, all of this extra fruit you're gonna save because you can use it, you know, as a meal, or like I said, you can always take any of these citrus fruits and put them in water. So we're gonna cut this girl right down the middle. And she is a very slight pink, Oh my God. This is what I'm talking about. The smell of this is ridiculous. It's so beautiful. So we're just gonna cut it in half, and then we're gonna take these edges right here and just kind of slice them off so they are kind of blunt at the end. And then I'm gonna cut that in half again because I don't have a lot of room, but I have these little wedges. And again, I'm gonna show you this, the whole platter at the end. You'll get to see it. I'll do a close-up of it. Again, we're gonna just cut the end just slightly so it's like blunt at the end. And then I'm gonna take this one and cut it, the white part off just so it looks pretty. And I'm gonna put another wedge here. There's 3. So one for me, one for you, and then one for us to share. And you know, all these beautiful fruits, like I said, we're gonna keep them because we'll use them. You can actually make a whole nother platter if you guys are feeling up to it. So the last thing we have left is just a few little finishing touches. I'm gonna show you little tricks that I do to even give it a little bit more pizzazz. Well, we finished our beautiful, gorgeous platter, and I'm gonna show you an extra few finishing touches. But I wanna say that this is truly one of the most beautiful, loving acts that you could do with someone or for someone, to prepare them a platter like this or any kind of food, or to prepare this with someone, which makes it even hotter and sexier because you're doing it together. And if you could stand here with me, like when I sliced open that grapefruit and I smelled it, I wish you could be here because it is absolutely enticing and sexy. And that's what I want you to experience with each other. Everything, like the limes, even the lime juice on my hands. I mean, it's beautiful. And this is just such a fun way to get closer, more intimate, and kind of get things sparked again and feeling like, you know, we can do something really healthy together and create this beautiful masterpiece. I mean, every color, and this is nature at its best. So this in itself is just a masterful art piece, but I always like to just do a few extra little things. Like I have these flowers that I bought and they're sitting next to me, and I always keep flowers around me because I love to use flowers on all of my plating. You know, these leaves that I just took right off of here, I mean, how pretty just to like stick them on the side, like as a little accent leaves. They're beautiful, they're green and yellow. And then I have these really fun, and I'm gonna have to figure out what these are called. If anyone knows, let me know. But there's these flowers I got from a Trader Joe, and I have one little empty space over here. So I'm gonna cut these, and you know what? These are really interesting to me because even though I cut them, like they last so long. They're almost like I'm not really sure, but they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. Anything that nature provides us is just stunning. Perfection. So that's what I was talking about, little finishing touches, you know, and if you even want to like do another couple of these scissors come in handy, we can put them over here. And it gives it just a little bit more of an accent. And it's just those little touches that you do that honestly make a big difference. It's small, it's intimate, and intimacy is everything. And you know, all good things come to an end, like building this gorgeous platter with you, but love never comes to an end, never. Keep it going. It's so worth it to spend time with someone you really deeply care about and jump into the kitchen. Do this project together, and I promise you, you will have fun, you'll fall in love again, you'll laugh, and just have fun. Be sexy, keep it spicy. If you've enjoyed my video, please hit subscribe, please follow me. I share this with your friends. I appreciate you. I absolutely love doing this, and keep it spicy, keep it sexy. So here's our masterpiece up close. We have the grapes and golden berries, lime, watermelon, strawberries, and those beautiful kiwi berries I was telling you about, the accent flowers, almonds and pomegranate, those really interesting flowers, pineapple, blackberry, lime, Asian pear, pumpkin seeds, or accent leaves, more grapes, and that delicious pink grapefruit. Enjoy.